If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry is the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This is the Daily Tech News for Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. We tell you what you need to know. We follow up on context. And gosh darn it, we just try to help each other understand.
Today, Dr. Niki is going to tell us about gold-plated cat vomit. Yes, you heard that right. And Google's custom Gemini attempts to outdo Amazon for your smart home.
I mean, who says we don't try to tell you everything, right? I'm Tom Merritt.
And I'm Sarah Lane.
Let's start with what you need to know with that big story, not the cat vomit. The day after Amazon announced new smart home products, Google unveiled 2 new cameras, a new doorbell, and a new smart speaker of its own. It also revamped the Home app and announced that Gemini is replacing Google Assistant for the home. So now they mean it this time. Gemini will be the name of the thing you talk to.
I mean, if only Google, changed names often.
Yeah. But
Wouldn't that be weird?
This time it's going to stick. Let's talk about the hardware. The Nest Cam Indoor is available now for $100. The Nest Cam Outdoor is available for $150. Both of those have a wider field of view than previous Nest Cams, 152 degrees. There's also a 3rd gen Nest doorbell available for $180. That also has a wider field of view than previous Nest doorbells, 166 degrees. And all 3 of these do 2K video. Now, you may have noticed Amazon announced some 4K video cameras yesterday. Google says we think 2K is good enough with bandwidth constraints, so it won't overdo it. Your mileage may vary, but you're getting 2K with these. They also record in HDR. They promise better low light performance, meaning you'll see color images longer before it switches to infrared in the dark. You can access 6 hours of event history with 10-second clips of triggered recordings for free. Don't have to pay anything out of the box. You get that. If you pay for Google Home Advanced, which is $20 a month, you'll get 60 days of clips and 10 days of 24/7 recording. There's also a middle ground 30-day event history option that is $10 a month. They also announced the Google Home speaker, although that one's not coming until spring of next year for $99. It'll play sound in all directions, has a light ring to indicate when it's listening and responding. Probably doesn't compare all that favorably to the Amazon Echoes we saw yesterday, which is why they were focusing on the cameras, I suppose. And along with this, Walmart is releasing new versions of It's On, ONN, not capitalized, just to mess with us, indoor camera. The indoor camera wired is $22.96. Video doorbell wired is $49.86. Those are both Gemini for Home capable, though, as well as 1080p. And that Google Home app got a redesign. I haven't seen it show up for me yet, either on my Pixel or my iPhone. But when I do, I will get a faster, less crashy app, they promise, and 3 tabs. That's how I know I'll get the new one. If I have home, activity, and automations, which that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Mm-hmm. You see your home stuff, you see what has happened on the home in the activity tab, and then automations is where you can make it do stuff. There are new resolutions on those cameras now, so you'll be able to zoom in and crop images in the home app. And then, of course, the big thing that really this was all about was Gemini for Home, which is in early access, so you have to request it. But if you get that, you can use natural language to control your smart home devices. So it'll understand context. Like, I want to cook, turn on the lights. It'll know, oh, he wants the lights on in the kitchen. Yeah, that's kind of nice, right? Instead of having to think like, please turn on the kitchen lights. You can also say, turn off every light except the bedroom, right? And it'll understand like, oh, okay, I'll leave the bedroom lights on, that kind of stuff. Also, notifications can be more detailed. So instead of just motion detected, it'll say something like a delivery person left a package, or, oh, don't worry, it was just a cat. It'll probably just say a cat passed by, but it'll use natural language to describe what it saw. And if you some of these features are only available with certain subscription plans, but at the top level, you can ask it things like, what happened to the couch? And it'll then show you a video of your dog helpfully rearranging your pillows and blankets for you.
I was like, what happened to I don't know what happened to the couch. Oh, it was the dog.
Yeah. That was the scenario that came to my mind, is walking in and go, what happened to the couch? And then Google being like, oh, here's a video of 7 messing around with the couch. There's also a home brief feature that can just summarize all your notifications. Like if you've been gone for the day and you see this wall of notifications, you can summarize it all.
Cat went by, dog screwed up the couch.
Yeah.
And your kitchen lights are on.
are on. And that package was from UPS. The intelligent alerts and the ability to talk to Gemini Live, which, by the way, we didn't talk about this, but you can also have it do travel planning or whatever else you do with Gemini, you can do here too. That all comes in the $10 a month subscription. More advanced features like searching your video history with plain text, those event descriptions and the daily summaries, and the more descriptive alerts in notifications are only for the Google Home Advanced subscription. That one's $20 a month. However, if you do subscribe, you can then use Gemini on your older devices. In fact, because it's cloud-based, it goes all the way back to the Google Home Max from 2017. Again, you need to opt in to get access to this stuff, at least for the moment.
Well, I think the subscription model is very much upon us. It has been for a while, but not going anywhere. And I know you and Jason talked about the Amazon announcements from yesterday. How do you compare the two?
I feel like Amazon very much has the edge in the talk to your home version of this, but they didn't really lean into the camera stuff as well. They had updated cameras and they do some nice stuff, but Google's big advantage is in Gemini. Gemini is much more capable right now than Amazon's voice assistant, even if you opt into the Plus version. And I think Google was flexing its muscles there to show that off. It's unfortunate that they don't have the easy entry point to talk to your house the way Amazon does, because the echoes are very impressive to me. Whereas the new Google Home smart speaker is not coming till next year, and they didn't even give us a date. So I sort of wish I could take Gemini and put it in the Echo devices, frankly.
A lot of this does feel like marketing to me. Gemini for Home is Google Home's new fancy thing, even though it's, and obviously, as you mentioned, some pretty great upgrades, but the Google Home situation, you mentioned, your Pixel device and your iPhone, talking to Google Home at home. A lot of people are like, you can use that with an iPhone? I think Google has suffered a little bit from, people not understanding that, yes, it's an alternative to Amazon's Assistant or HomeKit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think people understand Nest more than Google, which is why they've kept the Nest brand around, because lots of people have Nest thermostats.
Yep.
Probably more people have Nest cameras. but fewer people, I shouldn't say very few, but fewer people have the Google Home speakers. And that's playing out. They are leaning into their strengths here, which is like, we know you love the cameras. Didn't get a new thermostat this time, but we know you love the cameras, so we're leaning into that. I think people think Ring when they think of doorbells. They don't think, which is an Amazon product. They seem to be more popular, but these Google Doorbell, especially because they give you so much cloud-based access without having to pay a subscription, even if it's limited, versus Ring, which gives you practically nothing if you don't pay for the subscription. I think they could make some headway there. But yeah, and lurking behind all of this is the fact that Matter is expanding as a protocol that means you don't have to think about whether you have a Nest device or a Ring doorbell or something. You can just control it with whatever system you're using.
Can we talk about the ONN naming convention? I mean, it just looks like a typo. It looks like a typo. You know, whatever. Maybe it'll catch on.
That was the one that I very much are like, yeah, that's totally marketing, because they want you to talk about it and then have to think about it, and that makes you remember.
Which we
it,
are.
guess,
so,
but, yeah.
You know, well done, Google.
Yeah. Good for you, Walmart.
Well, DTNS is made possible by you, the listener, thanks to Michelle Sergiu, Kirk Stephenson, Miranda Janelle, and we have a new patron, Eddie.
Hey, welcome, Eddie. Eddie is the best.
This episode is brought to you by Capital One. Capital One's tech team isn't just talking about multi-agentic AI. They already deployed one. It's called Chat Concierge, and it's simplifying car shopping. Using self-reflection and layered reasoning with live API checks, it doesn't just help buyers find a car they love. It helps schedule a test drive, get pre-approved for financing, and estimate trade-in value. Advanced, intuitive, and deployed. That's how they stack. That's technology at Capital One.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Skip the gym, not the workout. With Hydro, you get a full-body workout in just 20 minutes, hitting 86% of your muscles in one smooth, low-impact motion. And now there's the new Hydro Arc, Hydro's most advanced rower yet. Arc introduces Hydrometrics, tracking your power, endurance, and precision every time you row, so you can actually see your progress. Go to hydro.com and use code ROW to get $100 off any Hydro rower, including Arc. That's HYDROW.com, code ROW.
What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras without the extra cost. Their designer quality frames start at $95, including prescription lenses, plus scratch-resistant, smudge-resistant, and anti-reflective coatings, and UV protection, and free adjustments for life. To find your next pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to find the Warby Parker store nearest you, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
A few different gaming notes for you today. Let's start with Sony, which updated its PlayStation 5 digital console in Europe. Still costs €499, but has an 825 gigabyte solid-state drive instead of 1 terabyte. Shrinkflation. It also has a matte finish and is 100 grams lighter. So, might work for you. Microsoft raised the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate from $20 per month to $30 per month. That might be a hit for some of you. But for the cost, you get 400 more titles and unlimited cloud gaming at 1440p. Cloud gaming is no longer in beta either. Ubisoft Plus Classics is now part of Game Pass Ultimate, and Fortnite Crew will be part of the service starting November 18th. The less expensive plans also get unlimited cloud and more titles. Not to be left out, Amazon's Luna game streaming service added Game Night, a collection of social party games that you can play with friends on your phone. It includes 25 titles like Exploding Kittens, Ticket to Ride, and more.
You know, I've been in the situation where everybody was trying to play Jackbox or something, and you had to have a console involved, and it was kind of a pain. So I could see this being something that is compelling. It's just you gotta have everybody on Amazon Luna, I guess, to really make it work. And I'm not sure how many times that's going to happen, but I kind of forgot Luna was around. So good for them getting their name back in the news today.
You know, for everybody who has lots of game nights, I can imagine you being like, oh no, this is super fun. I don't do that very often. So but it's probably, you know, I'm not the target audience here, but yeah, if anybody has thoughts on playing Exploding Kittens on mobile, let us know.
I bet they have more thoughts on the raise in the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but Microsoft did a smart thing by saying, we're going to put in Ubisoft Plus Classics. You're going to get Fortnite Crew, which gives you in-game currency, trying to say, yes, you're paying more, but you're getting more in return.
$10 is a big price hike. It is.
Yeah, it's 50% price hike, right?
Indeed. Yeah. So yes, it's like, yes, Microsoft is giving you more, but at the same time, you're going to get a lot of people grumbling like, well, I didn't want more. You know, I wanted to pay $20, not $30.
Well, and they did not raise the price of the lower levels, but also added unlimited gaming and more titles there. So I guess that would be Microsoft's answer is like, well, then pay for the cheaper one if you don't want more. The UK Information Commissioner's Office said Tuesday that it had reached provisional findings in its investigation of Media Lab AI's operation of Imager. The ICO indicated it would fine the company for how it handled the data of minors, or mishandled, I guess. Imager is now unavailable to users identified as using a UK IP address. No comment from Imager or Media Lab on exactly why, but it is certainly related to this in some way. Also going on in the UK, the Financial Times reports that the UK Home Office has sent a second technical capability notice to Apple requiring, once again, that it build access to iCloud data for official access to encrypted cloud backups of British citizens when legally required. In other words, we need you to make a backdoor in encryption. Apple received a previous notice in January and at that point ended its advanced data protection service in the UK. That notice was withdrawn, however, after a court declined to make the proceedings secret and the U.S. government negotiated an end to the request. It's unknown yet how this new request differs, at least to the public.
Yeah, it kind of hard to follow this, to be honest. So many moving parts.
Well,
right?
Let me make it simple. The UK government said we want a backdoor in January. Apple resisted. The court said you can't keep it secret. The U.S. put pressure and the UK stopped it. Now they're trying again, but we don't know what's different this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can only imagine Apple will come out swinging, as they do. And yeah, for anybody who is affected in the UK, that's really what I'm always most curious about. It's like, how does this affect somebody who lives in a different region than I do? How does this affect the way that you use Apple products and services?
Yeah. Nate Langston from Bloomberg, who's occasionally a guest on DTNS, was saying that he actually removed advanced data protection ahead of time just to be safe.
Epic Games says that after Apple made a change to warnings for third-party apps and app stores, users were more likely to install the Epic Games Store in the EU. Prior to iOS 18.6, which was released this summer, Apple had multiple warnings when EU users attempted to install third-party apps and stores. The EU required Apple to support, and continues to support third-party installations, and warned Apple not to make the process too difficult. After the summer update, there was only one warning that certain features like subscription management would not be available through Apple, and that the third party would handle all user data. Prior to that update, 65% of people attempting to install the Epic Games Stores stopped. After the update, only 25% stopped.
Yeah, you warn them fewer times, they get warned off less. It's kind of, Epic is waving this around like it's a smoking gun. I don't think anybody's surprised by it, but sure, they've got a point. Like Apple's multiple warnings in the past had a bigger effect on their ability to install Epic Games stuff. So there you go. Economists at Yale University Budget Lab and the Brookings Institution published a study of the effects of generative models like ChatGPT on the job market in the U.S. Molly Kinder, a senior fellow at Brookings who co-authored the research, told the Financial Times, despite how quickly AI technology has progressed, the labor market over the past 3 years has been a story of continuity over change. We are not in an economy-wide jobs apocalypse right now. It's mostly stable. Now, there are job losses. If you're like, well, hold on, it doesn't feel stable to me. The unemployment rate for new graduates with a bachelor's degree doubled from 4.4% in April to 9.3% in August. But the mix of the types of jobs offered didn't change. And so what the economists are saying is that indicates it's not a collapse in types of jobs, which is what you would see if AI was replacing jobs. It's that the economics just aren't there. The companies are cutting back. In fact, the changes are similar to the changes that came with the rise of computers and the internet. There's a graph that maps it out. Yale University Budget Lab does intend to update these numbers monthly to see if that changes in the future.
This always reminds me of the, nobody's alive anymore, but the people who are like, photography is ruining art.
Yes, right.
Like people were artists and now we just take pictures.
Yeah.
That's
all those
no
artists
good.
are out of jobs now. But,
right.
Yeah.
Why not both? So yeah, this is an ongoing issue. And of course, it depends on the company that you work for, or, the services of a company that you're using. But this does feel mostly like, okay, unemployment rates may be rising. AI may have a lot to do with that. But that's in very niche scenarios.
Yeah. And what they're saying is it doesn't look like AI has much to do with it. That the companies are overestimating their own changes
Right.
when they say they're getting rid of jobs because of AI. These economists are saying it sure doesn't look like it. It looks like you're offering the same kinds of jobs. You're just offering fewer of them because you're not making as much money. That's a different thing than AI eliminating jobs.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for, many folks who have been asked to incorporate AI into their jobs. And we've talked about this on previous shows. It's like, it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
It's more hassle than it is, keeping things pushing.
Unless it's implemented correctly. And that's the problem is you got some bosses out there saying, just use AI. And people are like, okay, I guess I use AI. And they're using it for things that it's not good for.
Yeah. Starting December 16th, Meta will start using the text of conversations that you have with its chatbots to inform which ads and content you receive. Conversations involving religious or political views, sexual orientation, health, and racial or ethnic origin won't be used to customize ads or content. It also won't apply to users in the EU, South Korea, or the UK.
I'm not shocked.
Not shocked at all.
Yeah. There's no way to opt out unless you're in the EU, South Korea, or the UK. But not super surprised. So
Tom, do you use Meta AI?
I don't
I
use
don't
it much.
either.
If I use it, it's in Instagram. Like I will very rarely use it in Instagram. But lots of people are using it in Facebook.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, standalone app, and obviously there's a web version as well. I don't have a problem with chatbots being like, okay, I know what Sarah wants to talk about. She likes dogs.
Yeah.
She likes shoes, et cetera, et cetera. So that isn't a huge issue. I think Meta is being safe and probably smart by, keeping things like religion and politics out of the mix, and other stuff. And obviously the EU, South Korea, and the UK are just, they're like,
they just have laws.
Yeah. We're not going to be involved in this at all.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about OpenAI signing a letter of intent on Wednesday to buy memory chips from Samsung and SK Hynix to help it build out its data centers. So now we know where the memory is coming from, the people who make a lot of memory. Also signed a deal with SK Telecom to explore building one of those data centers in the southwest part of South Korea, probably down there near Gwangju. OpenAI also officially launched Sora 2, its video creation tool that can make up to 10 seconds of video from a text prompt. That's 2 more seconds than VO3. Take that.
Yeah.
It's available. It's available to all ChatGPT users in Canada and the US, free or paid. If you're at that $200 a month tier, you get an advanced pro version of it. There's also an iOS app called Sora that lets you scan what they call a cameo of yourself into the app. And then you can use that to create yourself in the videos, and that of your friends who have given you permission to use them, and then share those creations with each other.
Listen, I
that was the pregnantest pause I've heard in a long time.
So, talking video creation tools, and, we've been talking about these for a while, and they're, it's short stuff. So 10 seconds of something that I could be very creative with and share with my friends. Don't hate it. Sounds fun. It also, to me, and maybe I'm just sort of missing the point. It's like, okay, if you're going to be an internet influencer, then maybe this would be something that, you could use to build your brand or whatever. But it's not a movie.
No, I think it's the opposite, honestly. I don't think this is about building your brand or being an influencer. 'Cause I've been using this app since last night. It's more like a group chat ethos. It's like, let me put Justin and Brian in a video where we're selling insurance. Ha ha ha. It's for enthusiasts. That's kind of what I said when we talked about the early report that this was coming. It's for people who are like, I want to play around with this. I want to see what it can do. And I am not allowed to put the images of public figures that I don't have the rights to in it. So let me put myself in, let me put my friends in, and then it's more fun.
Yeah. At a panel during the Zurich Film Festival, producer Aline van der Velden discussed AI actress Tilly Norwood. It's the first product from his talent studio, a spin-off from van der Velden's production studio Particle 6. Van der Velden said they would announce which agency would represent it in the next few months. SAG-AFTRA has issued a statement condemning Tilly Norwood, saying that the use of synthetic performers must comply with contractual obligations. Van der Velden said Norwood, quote, is not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work, a piece of art.
Yeah, this is a good one. We talked about this a lot on Cord Killers this week when I did that with Brian Brushwood. And I came to the understanding that this is a chance for Van der Velden to get a bunch of people who don't understand how this works to fund him, to buy services from him, because you can do this stuff. Like we were just talking about making Sora 2, create stuff. Right. So yeah, people can use existing tools from multiple services to do this. And Van der Velden's just making use of marketing savvy, to get people talking about it, to get SAG-AFTRA to spread the word by protesting about it. And it kind of reminds me of the legal case, where they tried to get a copyright in the name of an AI. That really was a way to get attention. It really didn't have a whole lot of long lasting effects.
It's a very interesting conversation, that Van der Velden, is having us talk about right now. Is if you have a synthetic actress, right? Which is Tilly Norwood in this case, and maybe that actress, is sort of beloved in some sort of film, short film, TV show, whatever it is. And then it's like, oh, okay, we want to see Tilly again.
Yeah.
And, so Tilly starts to become popular and, as actors are, and it becomes a thing that then starts to generate money. I think that's where SAG-AFTRA is like, hold on a second. We need to be involved in this in some way. There's something wrong here.
Well, all SAG is saying is there is a contract that requires production studios to follow certain rules to do this. Make sure you follow them. But they also have a bunch of angry actors who are afraid of this, who think it's going to replace them. It's not. It's not going to replace them any more than animated characters replaced, physical actors. I think there might be some fandoms built around the Tilly Norwoods of the future, perhaps, but there's always going to be the need for that human connection.
But it's like there's always been that. It's like, look at Mickey Mouse. Like,
right.
Are we mad that Mickey Mouse was, a character that wasn't real?
Right. And transcends the person who voiced Mickey Mouse over the years, right? Nobody even really thinks in their head who that is. Also, real quickly, Meta Ray-Ban display glasses now available. Those are the ones with a small video display in the corner. You have to go to select stores. You have to make an appointment, and the appointments are pretty much unavailable. So these things are at least more popular than the supply. Best Buy, LensCrafters, Sunglass Hut, and Ray-Ban stores, as well as the Meta Lab, will take the appointments. But when I looked just now, I could get a Meta Lab appointment in late December, and everything else was either just unavailable at all or booking in early January.
I looked at this too. The nearest store to me of those is Best Buy, and it was just like unavailable.
Yeah, they're just not there. Yeah. All right. Finally, a few quick headlines that are just like we always say, good to know if you want to understand the news in the future. Pay attention to these.
Peloton raised its monthly subscription price. Ooh, yes, it did. And announced a new cross-training series of hardware, including a $1,695 bike and a $6,695 Tread Plus, and AI-based Peloton IQ that can track your workouts across machines.
Wikimedia Deutschland announced the Wikidata Embedding Project that will support MCP, Model Context Protocol, and make Wikipedia's data easier to access for LLM inquiries.
The government of Afghanistan began restoring some internet and telecom services after disconnecting fiber optic cables on purpose earlier this week and taking the entire country offline.
Windows 25H2 now generally available for installation by Windows 11 users. There are two known issues affecting digital video playback and updating from a shared folder. Those are the essentials for today, but Dr. Niki has cat vomit for you.
If your cat or dog has coughed up a hairball recently, then you and I have something in common, and it may have been for science. Dr. Niki is going to explain.
Dr. Niki, welcome back.
Hello, happy to be here, Tom. So excited I could throw up.
I know, and that's a good thing in this case. Yeah. This study is very dear to my heart that we're going to talk about because I have often wondered and even got into discussions, almost arguments with other pet owners about my dog eating grass. Why do cats and dogs eat grass?
Wouldn't we like to know? Actually, we're not the only ones who like to know. There's a publication from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior that came out recently exploring why they just eat grass and then immediately throw it up later once they get inside the house.
Yeah, especially waiting until they're on the rug.
Yeah, the new rug also.
Absolutely. The newer the rug, the more likely.
So the authors state that they opportunistically collected 6 regurgitated masses from their own 2 cats, which is a great study specimen if you ask me.
Locally harvested. Got it.
Yep. They dried these masses and mounted them on slides, and they coated them in a fine dusting of gold. This is a technique that is done to prepare samples for imaging on a scanning electron microscope.
So when we talk about gold-plated hairballs, it's for scanning electron purposes.
It's for science.
Yes, it is not to preserve them, in
a way.
And so, well, not as an award or something, but to preserve them for the investigation. How does that work? How does the scanning electron microscope work?
Yeah, so I think as someone who uses microscopes a lot, I feel like the SEM is like the Rolls Royce of microscopes. It's been around for a while, but these are the ones that give you those really cool, super zoomed in 3D images that you may have seen of like a butterfly's wing scales.
Yeah.
So you do need to coat your sample in gold. And the way that this works is, in this case, it's a 15 kilovolt electron beam that's pointed at the sample. Very small piece of sample. And we're trying to figure out like the topography of its surface. And what happens is there's an interaction between the sample and the electrons from the beam that kind of get dispersed around it and picked up by a detector that's sitting behind the sample. And then this gets translated by the computer into a high resolution 3D images that lets you see really, really fine detail of the sample's topography.
Okay. So it's interpreting how the electrons land, so to speak, in order to reconstruct what the electron hit.
It's kind of a very more complicated way of thinking about how X-rays work.
Yeah, okay.
Except it doesn't go through the sample, it goes around it.
Bounces around. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's put the cat barf in the SEM. What do we find?
Yeah. So why did they put cat barf in an SEM? They were trying to figure out, I really like the way that they thought about this. They're like, okay, why do cats barf? If we maybe look at the microscopic structure of the barf, maybe we could see if something specific is going on. So what the scan showed is that the plants that the cat ingested had microstructures with a lot of serrations, spikes and hooks that almost kind of looked Velcro-y, and that they were snagged up with all the cat hairs and entangled. So they think that the theory up till then was that these plants basically go in like a drain snake and kind of capture all the hairs in their digestive system and pull them out and through so that the hairs don't stay inside their system.
Oh. Is it a particular plant that works best, or?
Funnily enough, another overly enthusiastic technique was applied to the barf. They did DNA analysis of the different plants, and they did find that it was multiple species of plants that were used. The authors didn't quite go into this, but what I found really interesting is that they noted that cats will sometimes, and I think dogs do this similarly as well, but they'll like rub their face on the plants before they eat them. And one theory is that they're using their whiskers to determine if they're like scratchy enough to be useful to help them like pass the hair through their intestinal system, because whiskers are very, 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 they have very precise mechanoreceptors, and so they can probably feel these microstructures on the plants, which is really cool.
Now, I know cats always cough up a hairball, but a lot of times with dogs, it just seems like it's the grass again. But there's probably more in there that you would need a SEM to be able to tell.
Yeah, so
what's
they're just
there.
it's
so
the
that's
theory,
really
and this helps that theory. And again, they only used 2 cats for this, so maybe it's different with dogs, but that it just helps clear things out. And it could be a piece of kibble from earlier that got stuck in there, or just bile.
I have to say, my puppy, who's now 1.5 years, coughed up a lot more of this stuff and ate a lot more grass when he was a puppy, because when you're a puppy, at least our puppy in this case, just ate everything, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, let me swallow it and see if it's good. Thankfully, never yet has swallowed a rock, but definitely coughed up bark and things that now he has learned not to eat. So this makes perfect sense to me that he goes and rubs his face.
Testing the waters.
Eats the grass. Usually when I have discussions with other pet owners, it's about like, well, I don't want them to eat the stuff that's on the grass. And that makes sense to me. But if the grass is untouched by pesticides or anything else, it's probably okay.
Yeah. And I'm assuming this is kind of an instinctual process, and they may not be able to regulate like doing it too much. In the case, like they're like, I should do this. But
that's true.
They barf up nothing. They're just like, I should do this once in a while. And they might get excited and eat too much. But insight into this behavior I thought was actually more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And
gold-plated cat barf
involved gold, dust, and a scanning electron microscope. So,
which can always only go well.
Well, Dr. Niki, thank you so much. If people want to support you so you can buy enough gold dust to do these on your own, where should they go?
Yeah, if you want to learn more about cat barf, just go to my website, NicoleAckermans.com. I'll post this story there, and my handle is the same as my website on Blue Sky.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dr. Niki.
Bye.
The more you know.
I mean, I could tell you a lot about cat barf.
And now
I learned a lot about
more.
cat barf just now,
right,
but
exactly.
I certainly have a lot of experience with it. And like you were talking about Seven, Rex, my new dog, it has not barfed yet. He's done a lot of other things wrong, but yeah, we'll see.
One of these days. Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be a dog that is, looking to just eat scraps on the ground, which my former dog Otis very much was.
Yeah.
With disastrous results.
Well, now we know why, at least.
Yeah, indeed.
Folks, if you would like to watch us live, we don't do this show live, but we do live streams. I'll do office hours live on YouTube. We have a hangout on Friday, and Sarah and I are on DTNS Live, a weekly show kind of looking at the week's tech news. You can catch all of that by becoming a subscriber at youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show.
This episode is brought to you by Capital One. Capital One's tech team isn't just talking about multi-agentic AI. They already deployed one. It's called Chat Concierge, and it's simplifying car shopping. Using self-reflection and layered reasoning with live API checks, it doesn't just help buyers find a car they love. It helps schedule a test drive, get pre-approved for financing, and estimate trade-in value. Advanced, intuitive, and deployed. That's how they stack. That's technology at Capital One.
Most people overpay for car insurance, not because they're careless, but because switching feels like too much hassle. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
We like to end every episode of DTNS here with some shared thoughts. Today, Tim has some kudos for us.
Yeah, Tim, the DBA from the Buzz Out Loud days, wrote, over the 3 weeks running, your coverage of the introductory big story on the podcast has been excellent. You have had some episodes where the topic was deep and you had extensive coverage and discussions, while other episodes had less deep of a story and required less time to cover it well. Good on you for moderating the pacing to match the stories. Thanks. Well, thank you, Tim. That's nice of you to say.
That is very nice. And, thank you to Tom because, he's setting the tone for all of us here on DTNS.
Too much thanks. Stop.
What are you thinking about? Did something pique your interest that we talked about today? If you have insight on a story, we want to hear from you. Share it with us at feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com.
But two more thanks to Dr. Niki and to Tim the DBA for contributing to today's show. Thank you for being along for Daily Tech News Show. You keep us in business. If you haven't already, become a patron. Get some extra content. Support the show. Feel good about giving back to the show that gives to you. Patreon.com/DTNS.
The DTNS family of podcasts. Helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
This episode is brought to you by Capital One. Capital One's tech team isn't just talking about multi-agentic AI. They already deployed one. It's called Chat Concierge, and it's simplifying car shopping. Using self-reflection and layered reasoning with live API checks, it doesn't just help buyers find a car they love. It helps schedule a test drive, get pre-approved for financing, and estimate trade-in value. Advanced, intuitive, and deployed. That's how they stack. That's technology at Capital One.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out Zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.